Hello everyone, I've got a review for you today of a brand new test line from Bath & Body Works White Barn Candle Company. This is a line they're just starting to work on. There's not much that's known about it or much even written about it currently. These candles, I believe, right now are only available in the Ohio Easton Test Store. They're not in New Jersey right now, and I'm not sure of their availability in other White Barn test stores, but I think they're just at the beginning of their testing phase, so I'm not sure really much about them as far as when or if they'll release, if they're a test that's only being done in a few of the test stores, as they sometimes do, and they're not even releasing to all test stores, or what. I really, unfortunately, don't have much to give you in the way of information on the actual testing phase of these candles, but I'll tell you what I do know, and I'll give an in-depth review on the three you see in front of you today. So they're working on a line that I guess it will have 6 to 8 scents, all based on Eucalyptus Mint, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of surprising, actually. The Eucalyptus Mint candle has been around with Slatkin since summer of 2010. This not to be confused with the Eucalyptus Spearmint from Aromatherapy, which I always thought that those two scents, the two candles, were basically the same scent. They may have been completely the same scent, or they might have been slightly different. The mint might have been different. There might have been a different ratio of eucalyptus to mint or spearmint in the two different candles. Not entirely sure, but Eucalyptus Mint in its current form was released in summer 2010. It was like a late summer release. There were 4 scents that came out at the same time. It was Green Daisy, Peach Bellini, Eucalyptus Mint, and I believe Sunflower. Of course, Green Daisy and Sunflower didn't make the cut. Peach Bellini and Eucalyptus Mint came back a few times, and just recently Peach Bellini was out in the spring. Now it's out with the holiday line, and Eucalyptus Mint was out in the spring, and then also made its way into the core White Barn Silver Lid White Barn candle collection at Bath & Body Works for I guess year-round at this point. So apparently it must be a huge seller for them, which surprises me a little bit. I know everyone loves Eucalyptus Spearmint, and they're really just focusing aromatherapy on almost entirely Eucalyptus Spearmint with a few side lines coming and going. But I was surprised that the straight Eucalyptus Mint Slatkin version of the candle was really as popular as apparently it is. I know a lot of people will say that it's too minty, or smells like toothpaste, or reminds them of the dentist office, things like that. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I've purchased it a few times. It's actually never burned properly for me, so the 2 or 3 times I've tried it, I've had to return the candles, and I basically just gave up on them. I was able to burn them in the little tiny 1.3 ounce candles, but you don't get much throw from that. So I purchased one in the spring that I returned, and I didn't bother picking it up with the current core White Barn line, just because that's not a scent that I generally would burn in the fall or winter. More of a spring into summer scent for me, at least. But so it looks like they're doing again 6 to 8 candles, all with the base of Eucalyptus Mint. I personally wish these were just eucalyptus. I mean, really, ultimately, I'd love them to be more truly herbal. Not the way the Forest collection went, but the way of a test scents that they started in the spring that at a few test stores where it was just lavender, just vetiver. If they were doing just eucalyptus, which already exists on the website, or other more straight herbal candles with maybe a little bit of other things in them, eucalyptus guava, sure, and then maybe a rosemary sage, lemongrass cardamom, things like they've had before years past, bergamot coriander, candles like that were in the past aromatherapy collections were some of my favorites, and I wish they would go in that direction, but they're going Eucalyptus Mint and running with it. Right now, when I purchased these candles, they only had 4 of them. There were these 3, and then of course the original standard Eucalyptus Mint, which is considered number 1 in the collection. I feel like most test lines have 8 candles in them, and then they'll end up releasing. When they release them, they end up taking just a few of them wide. Recently, a lot of lines have not done anything. Last fall they had a passport collection with 5 candles. 2 of those went wide, as we know, black pepper bergamot and mahogany teakwood, which was at the time known as Indian mahogany and teakwood. Then there were 2 different aromatherapy home gold lid lines that both just flopped as far as nationwide release goes. And now the Forest collection, which who knows if anything's happening there. But those lines all generally had, I think, 5 to 8 cents. So they might be stopping with 6 here, or they could be going to 8. I believe someone said that there's going to be a Eucalyptus Mint and Lilac, which would make sense to get a floral in there. I'm hoping that there's going to be a citrus. There was a test scent actually back in 2000, I think it was 2011, Eucalyptus citrus that it didn't end up going anywhere. It came out the same time as Flower Shop and Robina Waters did. So actually, you know what? That might have been 2010. Yeah, it might have been 2010. I'm not entirely sure. 10 or 11. Eucalyptus citrus, which was an amazing scent. I completely love it. So I'm hoping that will find its way into this line. But this has mint in it, so I don't really know. But we have here. They're really interesting with their labels. I'll get some close-ups on them before I do the in-depth reviews of them for you. But there's Eucalyptus Mint and Apple, number 3, they're calling it. Original Eucalyptus Mint is number 1. Number 2, not sure of yet, they didn't have it. Number 4 is Eucalyptus Mint and Guava. And number 5 they didn't have. But number 6, Eucalyptus Mint and Rain, which I was very excited for. Very interesting labels, sort of a little bit, I don't know, a little bit, artisanal looking, a little bit country, not entirely, almost a little more like apothecary kind of with the numbers. They seem to be a big fan. Their marketing folks like the numbers. They had White Barn number 1 and White Barn number 2 with the repackages of Nutmeg and Spice may have been a new candle, but White Barn number 2 being a repackage of Winter Cabin from last year. So they seem to really like the numbering of things, which is it's kind of interesting to give them a number in a line as if it's their classic formulation number 3 or whatever. So I guess I can just get right into these. But again, so right now they just have 4 of them. I purchased 3 because I didn't need the original Eucalyptus Mint. We all know what that smells like. I can purchase that anytime I want. And again, we don't know if or what more they'll be coming in the collection, and if or when they'll ever go wide. Right now it seems to be very early in the test stage. So overall, I think it's an interesting idea. We'll see how they burn. I'm not in love with the scents because they are very heavy on the mint. I love eucalyptus. Mint is fine in things. I don't mind it. I liked Garden Mint, which was a test scent from the spring. Lavender Market, also known as Peace from the Aromatherapy collection, which was heavy on the mint with lavender. I enjoyed that. So I don't mind mint. Some people are turned off by it. But in these candles specifically, it's quite heavy, and I could kind of do without it. But let's just dive right in. So again, number 3, Eucalyptus Mint number 3. And I apologize, it's very sunny today, so I'm trying to get a good angle without shadows here. So anyhow, Eucalyptus Mint and Apple, number 3, Bath & Body Works scented candle. Now these are not White Barn, and they're not Slack & Co. They're just doing straight up Bath & Body Works. Not a signature line, but just, this seems to be maybe something that would have been Slatkin, and this might be the first line that we're going to see that's truly has nothing to do with Slatkin. And it reads, crisp, crunchy notes of Macintosh apples mixed with eucalyptus mint, resulting in a delightful and bright fruit fragrance. Now you see here they capitalized eucalyptus mint, so it almost shows that they really are mixing this note with eucalyptus mint as it's known with Bath & Body Works, Slack & Co. as whatever notes are in that candle. So it's not simply eucalyptus mint and Macintosh apples. It is the eucalyptus mint candle, whatever those notes may be, with Macintosh apples added to the mix. So this is a bright fruit fragrance. I'll put it back up here and take a sniff. I seem to get more on the lid than anything else. It's interesting. It's definitely not my favorite of the trio that I've got here. Very heavy on eucalyptus mint, of course. The apple in there, I would say, so Macintosh apples, it's almost astringent. I don't know if the mint is doing that or what, but it's very astringent as far as an apple scent goes. And I get some of the apple. I would think it's not so much autumn apple or gingham apple or sweet apple. Certainly not any of the bakery apples that you may know, apple crumble, and nothing cidery or spicy at all. It's more closer to the farm stand apple, which to me had a little bit of astringency or almost chemical, sort of like a lacquer sort of feeling to it, like almost like a little chemically, like a varnishy sort of note to it, which I don't know if that's the apple that I'm getting because I got some of that in farm stand apple from the fall, or if it's just what I'm getting when I'm mixing such a strong mint with apple, because these really aren't notes that you'd typically think of being complementary. So yeah, it's basic. It's eucalyptus mint with a standard, Bath and Body Works apple thrown on top of it. So, yeah. Again, I don't really know how popular that would be, but maybe more people love eucalyptus mint than I realized. Not much to say about it though. The next one, eucalyptus mint and guava, number 4. And so you've got a guava fruit on there. Now, we hear a lot about guava, as a tropical fruit in so many home fragrance items, whether they're Bath and Body Works or tarts or many other home fragrance items have guava listed in them. It's not a common fruit that you find in the grocery store and eat regularly, at least in the U.S., but of course it's very popular all around the world, many other places. And the research I did on that, just because I wanted to know exactly what I was trying to smell for, is generally there are many actually different types of guava. The most common one is referred to as an apple guava, based primarily on the shape, not that it's mixed with apple or that it has an apple scent or taste, but just the shape of it. And I believe, based on the photo that you see here, in the number 4, in the background of the number 4, that is the apple guava, which is said to taste, many people find different things in it, but generally a mix of pear and strawberry, sort of a very, tropical, fruity, bright scent. And the notes on it, also somewhat basic. Eucalyptus mint and guava. The scent of guavas fresh from the tree transforms invigorating eucalyptus mint into a mouth-watering tropical scent. Now this, Bath & Body Works is known for repackaging scents or tweaking scents, bringing them back after having them, off the shelves for a year or two, or just trying things. There was, from the second line of aromatherapy home, the Good Life collection, there was one in there called Happy that was a straight-up repackage of Caribbean salsa, which made sense at the time, sort of, because Caribbean salsa was not in the spring line, but then for the semi-annual sale they brought back a ton of Caribbean salsa, so who really knows why they do what they do. So I was thinking this could be perhaps, a not exactly repackaged, but a mix of some past scents, and I think it may be. When I smell it, so it's eucalyptus mint and guava. Again, heavy on that eucalyptus and mint. Now the guava, it reminded me, it's difficult to exactly put my finger on it because the Caribbean Escape, Caribbean Salsa, Island Nectar, that sort of trio of scents that all came out around the same time and have sort of come and gone over the past few summers, are all very similar. I would say Island Nectar and Caribbean Salsa are the most similar between the two of them. And I don't actually have a Caribbean Salsa any longer to compare this to, but I do have an Island Nectar from a few years ago here that is half burned. So I tried to compare the sniffs on that. Now the notes on Island Nectar just simply say sparkling tropical fruits with vanilla, rum, and musk. So it doesn't tell you what fruit is in it, if it's guava. But it's very similar. Of course, eucalyptus and mint are dominant in here, but it feels like they may have mixed in some of the notes from Island Nectar. It's not as... basically, when I think of Island Nectar, it's sort of the brightest out of, say, Caribbean Salsa, which is a little more subdued and sweet and maybe pineapple-y, whereas the Island Nectar, I actually really like it. It's got sort of that musk in there, a little bit of vanilla, the rum, to make it a little more like Seaside Escape-ish as opposed to just a juicy fruit scent. But the fruit notes that I get in Island Nectar are very, very similar to the fruit note I get in Eucalyptus Mint and Guava. So think of, one of the sort of standard Slack-Kenner Bath & Body Works tropical fruit scents mixed with Eucalyptus Mint, and that's essentially what this guava is. The guava note is not... I hate to say it, but it's really nothing super unique or exciting, or you don't smell it and say, oh, that's what guava smells like. It still just smells sort of tropical. If they said it was a different tropical fruit, I would have believed them. And it wouldn't have, they could have said, passion fruit or something else that, that you don't necessarily eat on a regular basis to know exactly what it smells like. So that's that one. Again, I don't love that one either. They might be wonderful lit, but I haven't lit them yet. The last one, the one I was most excited for, anytime you get rain or watery scents or fresh or astringent or herbal scents like that, I'm always cheering for those. So I love the label on this one too. It's got just, like the hand-drawn rain clouds, and then Eucalyptus Mint and Rain number 6, and then the photo is just of pond water or something with little raindrops hitting it. So really pretty. And the labels also, just for the people who are really into the labels, are slightly different colors. Colored. This one's slightly of pink background for the red apple. This one has a little bit of a beige to it, and of course this has a little bit of like a slate gray to it. Now the notes on this one, this could be anything. I really had no idea if it was going to be a repackage. Again, not to harp on it, but they tend to bring back scents, and I thought that maybe this would be Eucalyptus Mint with something else that you smelled before, and I'm not sure exactly what it is like these others. It says here, the cooling scent of raindrops is the perfect match for invigorating eucalyptus mint, creating a lush, fresh fragrance. So not giving us really anything as far as if it's greens, or if it's something watery, or if there's a floral in there with like muguet, or lilies, or, nothing like that. I was thinking maybe it would be a little first bloom from the spring line, or spring, or something like that. And it's sort of similar to some of those, but not exactly. This one is my favorite. The Eucalyptus Mint makes most sense to me in this one, whereas the apple and the guava are just sort of, seems like, somebody did a home blend of mixing their Eucalyptus Mint candle with other things, whereas this one really is sort of, it stands on its own. And the Eucalyptus Mint is not the most dominant scent in here. Whatever they're using for what they're calling rain definitely has some power over the herbal and the mint. Now, the closest thing I could think that was similar to in the Bath & Body Works line of things is actually the old signature collection Rain-Kissed Leaves, which makes sense, rain-kissed leaves. So I've got that here, just an old a shower gel from the last semi-annual sale. Now it's certainly not exact. It is not, this isn't a signature collection candle of Rain-Kissed Leaves with a different name. But it's got some of that sort of intensely, a little sort of woody, a very, very light, sort of woodsy herbal to it. Very green. There's certainly eucalyptus and mint in here. But again, it mixes well with the rain, with the sort of green leaves. It's not a watery green, which you would think, rain, that it could be watery. But it's not super, super watery or super green, like your green that you get from Flower Shop or drenched apple flower, anything like that. It's actually got a good bit, I believe, actually, of lavender to it. And it wouldn't surprise me if they made Eucalyptus Mint and lavender as one of their, 6 to 8 candles. But I definitely get some lavender in here, and it's lavender similar to, it's not powdery. It's a little powdery. It's not very astringent. It's almost a little bit of the lavender from either lavender chamomile or lavender, maybe even more lavender vanilla. Yeah, because the lavender chamomile is a very soft lavender with heavy on the chamomile. I was just smelling that candle from the aromatherapy line. It's got a little bit of that powdery lavender that you get from lavender vanilla without being super perfumey or cloying, which that candle I tend to think gets that way. But it's kind of sweet. It's interesting. The more I smell it, the more I'm liking it. And I think it will be really nice lit. It's by far my favorite of the trio I've got here. So yeah, the mint is much calmer in this. There's eucalyptus there, but it's not an overpowering. It doesn't smell like you just mixed eucalyptus mint with something else, that candle with something else. There's definitely a nice amount of green in there, a little bit of that very bright, super light, sort of bright woods that you get in the Rain-Kissed Leaves that is just sort of woodsy, almost like the woodsiness from the woody part of a branch of rosemary. So it's not a heavy, dark woods. It's just that little bit of woodiness as opposed to woodsy, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it's very nice. I like it a lot. It's not exactly what I pictured for that, but it's nice. Who's to say what's to come with this line? Really have no idea. Again, someone mentioned that there might be a lilac with this. I would think that there could still be a lavender with it because the lavender that's in number 6 is not very strong. And I would assume there's got to be either citrus or lemon or something along those lines. But so that could be the remaining couple of scents there, but really don't know. Stay tuned. Check out your test stores, to see what may be coming as far as news for that. And if I hear anything, I'll certainly try to grab them up and do some reviews for you or let you know what I know from my end. But that's basically it. I've got a couple other videos coming up for you. I did some purchases this weekend with the 2 for $20 sale, so I may have some more reviews for you there. And I've also got a review coming up for the final Candle of the Forest collection that I had not purchased or reviewed in my first review of that, the super long in-depth review from a few weeks back. So I'll have a single video coming up for Black Forest Woods within the next couple of days. But if you have any questions or comments on this Eucalyptus Mint test line, please hit me up below. Comment, I'll be happy to get back to you. And until next time, take care.